what I'm gonna say is possibly gonna be quite controversial, or some people might say is quite how should I say? Some people might think it's groundbreaking, some people might think it's quite futuristic or unrealistic or like yapping, things like this. But I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say. Or the thing is, this is a sudden realization that just came to my mind as I was really, having certain internal churning. That I realized that why is it that people say, most people, okay, I'm not saying those who are like, the 1% of the entire population where you're born with a bunch of assets and you don't actually have to work, okay, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about those who are mainly in the working class, who are in the middle class, okay. So these folks are the ones that works very hard, like even for generations, for the past generations, for the past few generations, they work really hard to climb up the social ladder. And what I was really questioning was that why is it that people have to work so hard? Now okay. Now I know this sounds very counterintuitive. I know, even I find it really mind bugging. Like what is it? But it really shocked me that I was like, why? Like after I realized something after asking this question, and I was answering myself. I was like, why would people have to work so hard for money, for making a living? Because, like, why? Why do I say why? Why would I even ask this question in the first place, right? It's because since a long time, we have been living in a system, okay, for those who live in, I would say, developed countries or a societal construct where money is dominant, okay, I'm talking about this. For those who are not, you might not even resonate with this video, or you will not even come across this video because you're living happily off grid. But anyways, the thing about money is that it is not something bad. But my question is, why do us, okay, and our previous generations have to work so hard for it? Like as if you're selling your soul just in exchange for a certain security. Why do we have to do this? Like I'm just really asking this. Why? Like, is this what life is for? Is this what living is for? Like you're born into this world, this planet, and you literally just have to go to school, study really hard, and if you drop out, you're not gonna get a good job. You're gonna be very useless according to society. But it doesn't have to be, right? But it's just this is some kind of tinted glasses that people would wear if you happen to be like that. Now, for those who go to colleges, they sometimes will have a lot of debts because of you have to pay back. This is like for paying the tuition, and then you have this student loans, right? And then they would have this entire financial burden right after they graduate. Not even right after, like the beginning of it, or like studying at the college, you're already feeling the pressure because you have to pay off the debt after you graduate. So you have to go quickly into to get a job right after that, so then you can pay off the debt. And it can be prolonged for a long time because life happens, things change. You might have to use certain money for something else, and then you kind of have to make ends meet. There are just many different ways of life could happen, or being things being thrown to our faces. So now that's one aspect of it. But then now that's why I came to ask this question: why do we have to work so hard for money? Now there are certain people, they kind of like crack the code, like how to invest, how to buy buy certain financial products, or how do they just do certain leveraging, and then they can make a lot of money out of it. Things like this is like they just playing the money game. And of course, like, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. It's just that they enjoy it, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. I mean, if you enjoy it. But the fact is, there are just so many people not actually enjoying this game. They kind of have to be forced to enter this game, and not realizing that they possibly have an alternative choice, or even, I would say, alternative choices. And that is why, again, I'm bringing this back. Like, that's why I asked the question, why? Why do we have to work so hard for money? Like, what on earth is this? Because the thing is, when I think about how we live, when I envision how we can possibly live, other than chasing after money, chasing after survival mode, living in survival mode, what other ways can we live? What other lifestyles can we live? And that really brings me back to the understanding of how our ancestors lived, okay? Because the way that they lived would be mainly in community based, right? It's an entire tribe, a community that support each other. Everyone has his or her specific role. Not necessarily saying that who is better than the other one or not. It is just simply everyone is so complementary to every other person in the same community. It's because every one of them has a value, has such a strong rootedness in their own community, and they move forward together. They know they are not being excluded, and the entire connection between them is based on their connection with the land. Why? It's because they actually, everything that they're being provided, okay, is from the land. It's from nature. There's not a single person holding all the resources. It's all collective. It's all collective. It's all for collective interest, collective wellness, collective well-being. And there's not like a single person that holds every single of these assets and just claim any of this his or her own, because it belongs, so to speak, or say is shared by the entire community. So that is really different if we compare this, what I just said, as a community, to what we are experiencing now, currently in the world. I'm not even talking about country or just or even corporation. Let's put it into the smallest unit that we can even find, that is a family. When it comes to family, most families, not all though, really not all, like some could be different. There would be usually the man would be in charge of making money, and the wives would be in charge of taking care of the house, or say homemaker, right? The interesting thing here is that because money runs the world, like quote unquote, money runs the world. So if the man doesn't take care of the wife, then the wife is literally losing this entire value or identity. Because the wife is like dependent on the man's income, so to survive. But now there's many other cases right now, like not the scenario has changed because many women have their own jobs, they have their own thriving opportunities, right? So it's not as it's not as much as such a case as before, because before it was like that. But now I'm not speaking from a perspective of like being like a oh, I'm a feminist, oh, I defy patriarchy. No, I'm like, nah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm none of this. I'm just simply seeing from the perspective of how can we all come together and build a prosperous future together. Like this is my point of view. This is really what I'm looking at and what I'm looking forward to. Because it's not about who is better than the other one, who has to be in control of the other person or the other groups or the other tribes. This is none of this to me. Like I'm just like, no, it's not about controlling, it's about collaborating, it's about cooperating. How can we, utilizing each of our skill sets, to come together and cultivate, to foster a better future for everyone. Now, I would love to talk about the money thing when it comes to men, women, and family unit. For men, a lot of men feel like it's fun for them to make money, but at the same time, they feel like they trade their blood, their sweat, their soul, kind of like, to in exchange for money. What does it mean? It is not a pleasant thing. It is fun, but it's not pleasant. It's like you go make a living, you go make money, you earn, but part of you is gone. So it's not something like as pleasant as it sounds, although they might seem to enjoy it, but which maybe some of them they do, or even most of them they do. But what they possibly could be, yearning for at the same time is, even if they have money, it doesn't mean that they are being they feel fulfilled, emotionally. Men are sentient, and it's not that they are cold-hearted, it's not that they don't need love. They absolutely need love, and they so deserve love, to be loved, and to be truly loved, and to actually to truly love another person. It's a reciprocating thing. But if they are being seen as weak or unstable because they show the emotion, then we are literally blocking them from reaching their highest potential. When a man cries, people might say, oh my God, he's crying. Well, you know what? This man is strong. Like, to me, this man is hella strong, because he is in tune with his own emotion, and he's able to embrace himself with that. That is a strong soul. And this is not only applying to men, but also to women, right? It's to every human being. So when a man is so tired, of making money but not receiving the nourishing elements from the nurturing counterpart, this would cause a lot of chaos in his life or even the family. So what this would result in is a chain effect of negative results or negative outcomes, because people would then be very, very focused on money making, and not actually realizing what's the most important thing in life is really to enjoy companies, to enjoy each other's company from time to time, and living in a unit, be it big or small, because it really, everything is interconnected. The small units would be linked to the bigger units, and then as a whole, as one. when the men are feeling very left out in the family, okay, say they're being emotionally neglected, not being embraced, they're not feeling safe to embrace the emotional aspect, this would actually turn into the woman not actually playing their role of the nurturing role. And when women are not in tune with their nurturing qualities, this is something that's innate in them, they would turn into passive aggressiveness. They would turn into such behaviors of passive aggression, passive controlling, sulking. So all of this would then, all this negativity would then feed into the system, which is this chain effect of a vicious cycle. This small unit in itself, the family only, I'm just talking about a family, and the husband would not be happy, and the wife would not be happy, because none of these two individuals is conscious enough to understand the underlying issue here is about emotional bonding, emotional transparency, emotional connection. It's the openness between each other, between them, to actually to connect. This is actually very important. But why is this all related to money? It's because I think there's one thing that we, I'm talking about we, is like non-gendered, okay, like everyone. I'm like human beings, okay. This is what I'm referring to as we. We might want to wait. Let me let the luggage cross a little bit first. Is it a bit too noisy? I think we might all come together, to question or to think about who is the actual provider. Because here's the thing, I'm not saying that who has to be the provider is the best, or saying who a man has to be the provider because this is the traditional way. No, I'm trying to suggest that what if we all just take off these burdens off all of our shoulders? Now, this is an alternative way that I just came to realize. I'm like, why not we all take off this burden of providing? Okay, we don't have to be the parents that provide our kids, so to speak, security. I know this sounds really weird, but just bear with me. Let me keep going. Please allow me to keep going. What if we take off the burdens of bearing the very responsibilities of taking care of everyone in society? Or some would say, I don't even want to take care, right? What if we don't have to do this? Because the provider is the land, is nature, is the universe, is the invisible hand of the universe, providing every single thing that we individually needs. Okay, no, needs. What we all need. We don't actually need to take up all this burden and transform this burden into something that we call money. Money is not something that is bad, but if we give it such a connotation unconsciously, we didn't actually give connotations to money consciously. What I'm suggesting is because of all the accumulating emotions over the years, okay, a lot of years, many years, even centuries, human activities have been have had built such a relationship with money that is actually not healthy. Okay, everything is about relationship, even between humans and money. We have had such a relationship with money that it's not healthy. It's not wholesome for everyone, as a whole, as a society, as a collective of this planet. It's not healthy for us. So what is this? It's because we see money as the provider. Okay, it's like over time we unconsciously give the power to money. This is actually the same as if we go on with artificial intelligence, AI. If we give the power to a tool. But in fact, what is this power running behind the tool? It's the collective unconsciousness. That things that we are not conscious of would turn into how this tool is being used. Then see, what if we now take a step back to realize that no, the power is not with the tool. The power is within us. But where does this power come from? Where does this power come from? From nature. From nature. We are here playing on the playground. And we are here, we're being provided to play on this playground by nature, by the land. We don't have to be the providers. We don't have to be the providers, because exactly we are not the providers. We are just simply here to play the roles that we are born into and enjoy the game. And so this is what I came to realize, which also came to, it was also to my surprise, but it was also very fun. And so that's why I would love to share with everyone. So I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And I hope to hear how you feel about it, what you see or what you envision. And always we communicate, we connect through mutual understanding and mutual respect. And so thank you for your time and patience, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.